Hey, how's it going? This is Scott Orr, and I'm going to do a mix breakdown for a song that I put out not too long ago called "Do You," and you can listen to it. I'll put a link in the description below. You can listen to it on Spotify. In fact, you could listen to it 1,000,000 times on Spotify. That would be really helpful. But I'm going to open up the Pro Tools session if this is the kind of thing that floats your boat, and you can see how I put it together. A few people on the day that the single came out, a few people asked me if I would do another one of these mix breakdowns for the song. So I opened up the session and I thought it is kind of an interesting how everything came together. So it's going to be fun to kind of unpack it a little bit. My Pro Tools session, as always, is a little bit messy, but it's my system, so you don't need to complain about that. This is a song that it's not on the album I'm working on. I've been in the process of mixing my next record, and that doesn't come out for a while, so I wanted to have a single to put out in the meantime. And I wrote this song on a Tuesday, I think, and then on a Wednesday I demoed it in Pro Tools and put in some of the sample beats. And then I realized that there might be something to it, and so I spent most of Thursday and Thursday evening recording it and pre-mixing it, and then I spent the weekend mixing it and uploaded it to digital right away. So it was a really wicked fast process, and I'm really happy with this song. So I'm just going to go as fast as I can to show you everything that's in here. So I guess let's go to the percussion. The first thing you hear is, let me play the song a little bit for you here.
You're supposed to be not lonely.
Okay, so the first thing you're hearing is kick drum, which is a kick drum sample. I put the slate on everything, so this is like a parallel compressor and then some beefing EQ and saturation. I use this transient shaper on everything I do because just takes that room off and gives it more of that kind of tighter, deader sound. I love that from Soft Tube. A little bit of a high roll off here, and then just some normal surgical EQ here. Having a hard time speaking today. The big thing that's going on here that you'll notice, depending on the system you listen to, and I kind of was hesitating doing this, and sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't. It's this hi-hat, which I believe is an actual hi-hat from a Vocal Beats that I have over here. And it's hard pan to the right. It's probably high passed significantly. And it's just this 16th notes, and I really liked it. I liked what it brought to this song. But then if you listen to it on headphones or on car stereo, it actually comes through a little bit too much. So I regretted not turning that down a little bit. I always kind of hesitate doing experimental stuff in tracks because I worry, and I don't know if I should worry about this, but I worry that if someone's going to put it on a playlist, will they not put it on a playlist because it has weird sounds? But at the same time, that's what I really love about music and what I feel like where I can differentiate myself from other tracks that are maybe just a little bit more straightforward. So there's that hi-hat going on that was created with Vocal Beats.
You're supposed.
Okay, so then there's this conga sample, which is probably from a Lindrum. And see how it's changing notes? That's because of this little altar boy, which is automated. And that's what's happening there.
You're supposed to be.
You may not notice that when you're listening to the track. And I've spent a lot of time tuning toms and different percussion elements to the song, to the key of the song. That's something I feel like is kind of brings a track to the next level by tuning even real toms, just pitching them a little bit. Congas, anytime there's a conga on a track, I'll use little altar boy and try not to affect it too much, but just to bring it into the key of the song. It really helps, really helps. Let's move over to the chorus, and I'm going to just hang out on these 909. Let's listen to, this is verse 2, one sec. Let's go to the chorus. Okay, so we're back at these Lindrums again. Oh, I thought there was, oh yeah, okay, so on with the toms. Okay, so these toms are recorded with the Volca Beats by Korg. Hard pan to the right. Then I duplicated that file and pitched it down. So you got this part here. And it gets to the end of the chorus. There's one more duplicated that goes even higher. And they're panned all over the place, so that's what's really giving that sense of space.
Want to, 'cause I do.
Just to talk about the other drums for a second, there's a shaker, which I believe is a real shaker, but it's just I did it for a couple bars. On the second chorus, you hear the snare come in, which is a snare sample, but it's a real snare. And I'm doing, let's listen to that drive for a sec here. There's some verb happening somewhere, probably on the bus somewhere, but anyway. So with everything on, just kind of killing it a little bit. There's a rim shot. I love how long that little plate, I use this all over, you'll see this today, all over this little plate from Sound Toys. It just decays for a really long time. That makes the song for me. Here's a floor tom. This has got this has got a little plate on it and the transient shaper again. Listen to this with the reverb and the transient shaper turned off. Hear how there's that clip there? It's because I didn't put a fade. It's because I was in a big hurry. Should have done that. So there's a little clip. I was in a big hurry. That was a mistake. Oh well. Let's listen to all the drums together just for fun. Put the hat back in. See how disorganized this is? Kids at home, you need to do a better job than me. You can really hear that tom clip. That's a bad thing, isn't it?
Do you want to?
I think that's it for drums. There's a what's this here? Oh, there's another kick that comes in on verse 2. I don't know why. Just to kind of maybe pick up the pace a little bit. Or not the pace, but you know what I mean. Like raise the temperature. There's a wood block that's like one of my favorite discoveries. So I have this, here it is. I'll tell you why it's totally edited. Listen to it for a sec. So this wood block is from a Roland JV30 early 1990s synthesizer. It's a stereo synth. I've had it for a long time. It was probably worth nothing about 10 years ago. You couldn't give it away. And now it's probably worth a lot more just because it's got a ton of gorgeous stereo sounds. And as the influences from the 80s kind of move into the early 90s now, I'm sensing. There's a lot of cool sounds in it, and I've used it a ton on my new record. So this wood block is just a wood block sound. And then there's reverb from the synth. So it's coming out stereo. It's going into my stereo delay guitar pedal, which is called the Nemesis, I believe, a great pedal. And there's a digital delay that's happening, which is stereo and giving it the ping pong sound.
Do you want to?
And the reason why it's edited so much here is because all the feedback, all of the extra decay, start to get out of time because it's just the tempo is synced just with me tapping. So I do have to kind of align it a little bit. I suppose I could have done it with Echo Boy, but I really love that guitar pedal. So let's move on to that. Let's go to the acoustics. This is very simple. This is my classical guitar. I'm going to do an acoustic version of this song. I'll probably just strip it back to the piano, vocals, and acoustic. All that's happening here, there's some compression, pretty heavy compression, using this MJUC, great plugin. And then some EQ, and then there's some noise suppression that's coming out just a little bit. And then a little bit of low cut on each track. So basically it's hard pan, there's 2 takes, and I hard pan them one on each ear. And it's recorded with a Stager SR1 or SR3, which is a ribbon mic from Nashville. Beautiful, beautiful mic. The acoustic isn't very dominant in this song, even though it's a singer-songwriter track written on an acoustic guitar. It's not that important to the mix. So one of the things that you're going to hear throughout this, any track that I work on in the foreseeable future is this Juno pad. And it's from my Roland HS60, which is a Juno 106. The insides are literally say Juno 106, but this is the home version with the speakers. But it's a stereo synth when you turn on the very popular chorus effect. So here's a pad. It's the original pad there. Now, I'm putting on, when you put on the filter freak, see how it's heavily filtered? So basically what this track is doing to the whole mix. See if you can tell when I turn it off. I'm gonna mute the vocals because he annoys me. See what happens when I turn it off? You don't hear it, but you definitely feel it when it's gone. My friend Joe, about 10 years ago, I was telling him we were recording his record, and it was mostly acoustic driven, and I said to him, we need to put like an organ or a pad in the background, really, really low. And I kind of explained to him the feel and the reason, and it was very similar to this. And he used a great analogy that stuck with me ever since. It's basically like mortar between bricks. And that's really what I feel. When you have all these parts that are moving around doing different things, a nice like Juno pad or a pad from anything, or even like a Hammond B3, and playing a very simple part, sometimes even just playing one chord or one note can really do the trick. And so it acts kind of like a mortar. I like that. Okay, the main part of this song, which you'll notice right away, is my Moog Sub 37. So this is a random ARP that is played. There's probably about 8 notes that are randomized. The tempo of the ARP is synced to the Pro Tools session, and yeah, and then there's a setting, I believe. This is like a preset that I created for a song called No Phone on my last record, and I just reused it for this. And so here you can hear it right here. This is on its own. So it's doing all these random things, and right there, that part, do-do-do-do-do-do, that kind of like wrote its own riff for the song. Listen. And that's all randomized, which is crazy. So that, so there's the song right now. You have these random percussion elements, acoustic being very simple, and the Juno not doing very much. And so the Moog really made the song. There's a little bit of Echo Boy, which is just providing a bit of ping pong. So, and then a little plate on there as well. And then tons of, well, not tons, but I do like to take out the mud from the Moog. So then what I did is I duplicated the Moog track, and starting verse 2, I mean, I always like to kind of every 30 seconds or every, couple of, maybe every 16 bars or whatnot, I like to kind of, take a little bit of a turn in the song just to kind of renew your lease with the listener's ears. And so this is what's happening here on verse 2. You you hear the wood block come in and then a second Moog. So the Moog just intensified. So I've duplicated the original Moog track and I put this tremolator on it, which is also from Sound Toys. See those 16th notes, and they're kind of truncated. I mean, it's so beautiful. I love that. And then it's hard panned, sort of hard panned, so soft panned. And then another Moog, or the original Moog, on the right side. So that's really what kind of builds the song. All right, a couple other things before we finish up. There's the bass. Root notes, super simple, with like a Squire bass that has made it onto every one of my records. It's been heard quite a lot of times. And I always just play the whole notes because that's all I know how to do. And I've got the Filter Freak on here. I've got Slate stuff for saturation, compression, probably, yeah, whacking that, and sending tons of low end in there. Again, it's not hugely important. Okay, so then piano. I'm going all over the place, so I hope I don't miss something. Piano is actually a plugin from Spitfire. And it's called Soft Piano, and it's a free plugin. And I'm playing it using my Moog as the controller. So here's the original. Look at this. I have a noise plugin on it. I don't know why. It was a MIDI. I have no idea why I put that on there. It's probably a mistake. Let's listen to the original. I mean, that's a great plugin. Taking out some mud, probably adjusting the EQ and some saturation, lots of compression, more compression from UAD, and then that noise suppressor for some stupid reason. So it's hard pan to the right. I have this trick called piano throw. I didn't make it up. I found it from someone else, but where I'm taking a send of the actual piano, so you can see it right here, and I am sending it to another track, a mono track, and I put a 100% wet mono Echo Boy plugin with the shortest delay time, a little bit of EQing, and then my favorite reverb, heavy on this EMT 140. And I'm throwing that to the left side, which creates a room sound, and it really makes the piano sound like it's in a room. And that little delay, that like 164th or something, that split second delay, that sending it to the left ear, is what kind of creates that illusion, like you're standing close to the piano, but then it's bouncing off the wall in the living room kind of thing. So if you listen to it without and with it on, listen. Isn't that cool? I mean, maybe you don't think it's cool. I'll go to the vocals in a second. I just want to make sure I catch everything. There's some more keys happening here. On the second chorus, we have a Rhodes. This is a real Rhodes 73 over there. And it's, oh look, you can see it on the screen. It goes into my LA610, which is boosting the 4K, cutting the 200 hertz, and heavy compression. And then same thing's happening here. More EQ, more heavy compression. And a simple fella played it. Going back to that JV30, listen to this. This is the E piano from the JV30, and it is going through the delay pedal. The stereo delay pedal. So the stereo sound, stereo chorus and reverb from the synth, and then yeah, just a bit of saturation tape and EQ happening on it. But that's an E piano coming from the Roland JV30. I love what it does right there. Listen to that. And that comes in. So basically what I've done here is like, you have the second chorus, new things come in on the second chorus. Like the Rhodes, and the snare, and the shaker. And then on the second half of the second chorus is when the electrics come in. And then the first outro is when the sax come in. I don't know what the split here is. When the sax comes in, and then on the second outro is when the E-piano comes in. So I always try to kind of like keep the outro going, like give you something new to listen to. Electric real quick here. This is a DI electric. It's just like the Telecaster going DI into a 1073 maybe, or maybe not actually, maybe the 610, mono 610. And then this slate thing. I mean, I didn't really spend too much time with it, and I was in a hurry. I didn't have time to mic up an amp. I don't like miking up amps because I'm not very good at getting the noise out. And then there's a duplicate electric. So that's doing the same thing the whole time. And that would have been edited with Beat Detective, so don't congratulate me. And then the second electric joins in. And they're all going through, they've got, here's them on their own. Kind of wienery. I think they just add like a little bit of intensity. So I'm really, before I get to the sax, which will be the last thing, the vocals you've seen before, if you've watched any of these videos, they're basically just, this is the dry vocal. Well, you know, with all the plugins. But what I do with the vocals are, okay.
And you only need.
So the first thing is a vocal spread,
And you only
which is micro shift.
Have hard to see.
And then a vocal delay, which is Echo Boy.
And you only need.
All very subtle. Then my secret weapon, which is the effects rack from Sound Toys, using the preset large lush verb. And this is a send for my vocal, so it's 100% wet.
And you only need. Have hard.
And then I like this bathroom reverb I throw in there just to give it a little bit more realism.
Have hard
From UAD.
to see.
It's a small bathroom.
I'm supposed to be.
That's it for that. The sax is a part that my friend Murray played on my new record for a different song. And I ended up wanting something on this track, and so I grabbed the wave from the other song. And let me mute the effects. And so listen, this is from another song. It's in a different key. Beautiful. And I believe that's recorded on a stage or ribbon mic as well. So then I changed the key using Little Altar Boy. It's a baritone sax, and I've pitched it down even lower. And then my favorite EMT 140, right on top of it. And slate for just a little bit of saturation and EQ. And this was just plopped on here random. I think I nudged them a little bit, but he didn't even play on this track. It was just a miracle that it worked. So weird, eh? Oh, this conga too, same thing. This is recorded for my new record for a different song by my friend Jason. Beautiful. For a different song. I maybe used Beat Detective, or maybe this is the same tempo, I can't remember. Love that. That conga really adds to it. Conga. I'm an idiot. Okay, that's everything. I hope you found that helpful. Again, stream the song a million times to really get a sense of whether or not you think it's good. But listen to it now. You know the behind the scenes. I don't go over my mix bus too much, but it looks here. This is weird. I put a 5% of this like reverb over the whole mix, not including the vocals. That's strange. I've never done that before. I put this on my mix bus, which is Wow Control from Good Hertz, one of my favorite plugins of all time. It's just doing very, very subtle tape warmth and a little bit of warble. And everything, not right now, because I'm recording this to Zoom, but originally everything would go through my Audioscape SSL style bus compressor, as well as my stereo EQ from High Voltage Audio. Thanks for watching.